Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. My name's Lee Henson, president and founder of AgileDad. And without any further ado, let's get started. This week, we've been focusing so much on self-improvement, and I've gotten some incredible feedback from all of you, and I really appreciate that. This is an awesome opportunity, especially in these hard and trying times, where the world around us may not be in the way that we hope it would be. This is a chance for us to dig in and to look at where we are. So we started off talking about introspectives and the importance of understanding who we are and how we can get to where we need to be. We talked about building that solid foundation and choosing only the best rocks to build your foundation. Then we talked about having an important story to tell, not one from many years ago, but the condition of what legacy are you going to leave behind? What are you going to leave behind that's going to make the world know your name? Today, I want to build on that by talking about what is your goal or what is your purpose? Do you have a sense of purpose? Do you have some reason for being here? What are you trying to achieve? What is your goal? Now, I know a lot of people who set financial goals to be debt-free or set spiritual goals to become a more spiritually in tune and spiritually minded person. I know some people who set goals to serve and to uplift others and to sponsor or find a way to help someone else be better. I want to know right now what one thing, and it begs the question, when was the last time that you did something just for you, without anybody's permission, without telling anybody? When was the last time that you did something that's going to make you a better person? Whether it's as simple as going out and getting a fresh new haircut, or whether it's, going to a park and just sitting down by yourself and enjoying watching nature, or whether it's, it doesn't need to be something monumental. Just when was the last time that you did something just for you, without telling the world, without asking for everyone's opinion, and without being influenced by external media or external sources? When was the last time that you just did something because you wanted to make you happy? And I think that those are the kind of goals that I want to focus on first. In the past, I've had an opportunity to work with lots of different people who struggle with different problems, whether it's different disorders or addictions, or whether it's things that are causing them to be a certain way. I think that the big thing that we try to send to them, the message is, they need to set realistic goals. They need to set goals that are going to allow them to gain a better focus, and goals that are achievable so that they can earn a notch on their belt. This reminds me of some of the 12-step programs that I've seen people go through, where if that first step was completely unachievable, people would lose hope and they would not be able to achieve any of their goals. And I think that starting off with admitting that there's some problem you're trying to solve internally and what are you doing to solve the problem could be a very good first goal. It's discovery, it's research, it's exploration, it's seeking out only the best rocks, it's building karma, it's establishing a bank where we're going to do more for others than others ever do for us. It's finding ways to impact who we are and discovering what we can do to even push further. I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of executives, and one of the things that I can tell you is that they always have a goal, but oftentimes they don't have a purpose. So let's reevaluate that. Let's explain. Let's break it down. So they'll have a goal. Our goal is to increase sales by 30%. I'm like, great. So tell me, what is your way of getting there? What is your execution? So we know what you're trying to do, but do you understand the how? And once they understand the how, that's great. But then I ask them the third question. Why is that the most important thing you could be focused on? And this is where I want to hear about the purpose. What is this going to change? What is this going to... If they said, I want to increase profitability by 30% so we can hire 14 more people, okay, yeah, then they understand. They get it. But if they just say, I want to increase profitability by 30%, and this is how I'm going to do it, that's great, but why? Why is that important? Why is that your goal? And I think that sometimes, whether it's a goal to lose weight, someone very close to me is planning to have a gastric bypass surgery. I commend her for wanting to do that. I think it's a great thing to want to be in better shape and to be healthy and to do all those things. But when I asked her, why do you want to do that? Well, first I asked, she says, I'm feeling awful. I said, why are you feeling awful? And she says, I'm overweight. I said, okay. I said, what are you going to do about that? And she says, well, I've tried a number of diets and they haven't worked. She goes, so I think I'm to the point where I want to have gastric bypass surgery. I said, okay, so you understand what your problem is, that you're overweight, and you understand that you want to be more healthy, which is good, and you understand your how of wanting, by having this gastric bypass surgery, this is going to help you lose that weight. But then I asked her, and what's the end result? What's the end game? Now, she's a little older. She's not really old, but she's definitely older than I am, and I was trying to figure out, what is this going to change? Is it going to help you every day when you look in the mirror to feel like you have better self-worth? Is it to help you look better in the eyes of your husband? Is it to help you feel better about what you see and do each day? And I think that sometimes we set a goal, but we don't necessarily understand what the purpose is. And it's okay to set goals, and it's okay to set achievable goals, as long as you have some sense of what this is going to do. What is this going to create? How is this going to impact things and make things better? And I think that if we could focus more on tying a goal to a purpose and then discovering how we're going to achieve it, I think it would make a lot more sense. And I guess what I'm trying to say is we need to start with a problem, which in this case she did. But I think it's important that we always start with, what problem are we trying to solve? What are we trying to make better? What goal are we trying to achieve? Then we can ask ourselves, what's the purpose of that goal? And I think that if we complete that loop, and that's something that a lot of people don't do, especially in the Agile community, if we complete that loop and understand whether it's a fitness goal. We recently had Bill on to talk to us about how Agile can tie towards fitness goals and how doing the same exercise over and over, while great, stimulates that one muscle, but didn't necessarily hit the set of muscles that you were trying to hit. It's sometimes listening to the internal thoughts or feelings that we have and studying and figuring out what we need to do in order to achieve those bigger purposes or goals. So I challenge you in this podcast or in this episode to seek out a goal. Seek out something that you want to do and make it achievable and set a date. Don't be afraid to say, I'm going to achieve this goal by this date. One of the things I've discovered is that there's nothing worse than setting a goal with an endless date, because you'll never get there. You'll never make it to that mark. You'll never make it to that goal unless you have something that you have as a deadline to say, I need to do it by then. And if you do, oftentimes that'll help uplift you and it'll set you up for what your next goal is. Now, one caveat or word of warning is, don't set your first goal to be solve world hunger. I know a lot of people who set that first goal to be just so unachievable, and it just discourages you and it causes you to fall. Think of it as a weight loss journey. If you're going to lose a pound or two a week, that's healthy. But if you're trying to lose 100 pounds, that means it's going to take you a little while. It's not going to be super fast. And if it is super fast, that's only danger for you to regain and to get back to where you were before once your dietary habits change. It's important for you to understand what your purpose is of achieving that goal, to make it something that's achievable, and to focus on smaller pieces, maybe 10% at a time, to get to that goal, because then you'll have something that's markedly achievable and you'll have a deadline. So I hope this information was helpful, and I hope it helps build you and those around you. As always, we encourage you, if you have an idea for an episode of the AgileDad podcast, shoot us an email to learnmore@agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.